Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Redding's in-person and virtual Sunday worship service. My name is Charlene Reynolds-Santo. I'm a member of the worship arts team, and my pronouns are she and her. Whoever you are, whoever you love, wherever you are from, whatever your faith tradition, you are welcome here. All are welcome here as we gather to create an understanding and family-friendly community. Here we nurture and explore individuals' spirituality, work to build a strong, loving community, and to help heal our beautiful but very broken world. If this is your first time with us, I'd like to extend a special welcome to you. If you haven't already, please look at our webpage at uuredding.org for more information about UUCR. Here you can learn about this beloved community and connect with our staff. Today we have Reverend Albert Boyce as our guest minister. Welcome. Reverend Al began ministry in 1973 as a fundamentalist minister. He left that tradition and attended Harvard Divinity School, after which he was accepted into the Unitarian Universalist Ministers Association and has served several congregations. Al also holds a degree in psychology, counseling, and a PhD in psychology. Al recently retired from his position as a lead chaplain for Volunteers of America, North New England, and Per Diem Hospice Chaplain. In 2024, Reverend Boyce was honored for his 50 years of ministry. He is a husband, he is a father, a grandfather, and a great-grandfather. Al and his husband, Andrew, live in Maine, way up there, with their poodles, Luke and Lewis. There are a few more details about Reverend Al that you can find in your order of service. Again, I welcome you.
Gretchen Haley wrote, "There is nothing you need to bring with you to be in this circle of compassion. No right beliefs or proof of citizenship, no eternal optimism or clarity of conviction, no boundless courage or endless expertise. You do not need to know what brought you here, or how you will solve the problem you're turning over and over and over in your mind. Your bills do not need to be paid, and your checkbook can be a mess. Your children may have been up all night. Your hearing aids may not be working. You do not need to be already perfect or even halfway to belong to this circle, where grace meets us where we are, but does not leave us as it found us, where love resides in each of us, yet is somehow more than all, where life pulses and rages and heals and transforms, creating us and this day anew once again. Come, let us worship together, knowing the divine guides as we trust in grace."
As we light our chalice this morning with Unitarian Universalists all around the world, we invite you to call into your heart the flame we kindled this morning, the flame of truth, of community, of commitment to love and to justice. Please join me in the chalice lighting words, which can be found on the laminated sheets with the hymnals behind the pews. In the light of truth, the warmth of community, the fire of commitment, we gather this day. May the flame we now kindle be to us a symbol of the holiness we seek. Each week, we recite the children's affirmation as a reminder of the most important elements of who we are. Will any young people who would like to help out come on up? All right, one more. Oops, go ahead. You got a spot right there. There we are. Okay, ready? We are Unitarian Universalists, the Church of the open mind, the loving hearts, and helping hands. Thank you all. Please rise in body or spirit as we sing our opening hymn, number 298 in the gray hymnal, Wake Now Our Senses. We will be singing verses 1, 2, and 5.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. Well, it's time for all ages, so I would love for you to come up and sit around me if you'd like to have a little chat, hang out. So glad to see you all today. Today, our guest minister, Reverend Al, is talking about the great mystery. Has anyone ever heard that phrase before? Raise your hand. The great mystery. Maybe the grown-ups. Oh, some young people. Yeah. The great mystery is all our questions about life that no one really knows the answer to. What came first, the chicken or the egg? How did all life begin? What happens after we die? How big is the universe? What is the meaning or purpose of life? Many people have ideas about these questions, but the truth is no one really knows the answers for sure, and that some call the great mystery. Sometimes we might want to think about these questions and try to figure out what we think the answers are. And other times it can bring us peace to say, well, it's a mystery, And I'm okay with not knowing the answers. One time, I saw a musical called Singing in the Rain, and it rained real water right there on stage. And I sat in the audience amazed. This is not part of the great mystery. I could have asked someone and found out how they made it rain on stage, but for some reason that day, I didn't want to know. I wanted to leave it a mystery for myself. That day I thought, I'm okay with not knowing. Sometimes we might find ourselves thinking about events in the future that haven't happened yet, like what's going to happen tomorrow at school? How am I going to feel when I go to the dentist? What part am I going to play in the holiday pageant this year? Because these things haven't happened yet, we can't possibly know the answers. It's a mystery. So, raise your hand and tell me, what are some things we can do to help ourselves be okay with not knowing? How can we help ourselves make peace with things that are a mystery? Things we don't have the answers to. What do you think? What can we do? Oh, you got one. What do you think?
Staying with the secret.
Chloe said, staying with the secrets. Just accepting that some things are a secret of life. Yeah. What do you think?
Trying to figure them out, but if you don't figure them out, just being okay with it.
Yeah. Charlotte said, try to figure them out, but if you don't figure it out, be okay with it. Yeah. Did you have your hand up? Yeah, no. Oh, the question is, how can we make peace with not knowing certain things? Yeah.
You can just try to settle the score or something,
Just maybe, yeah.
or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, Ethan said settle the score. Maybe kind of settle within yourself, like just let it land. Just settle. Yeah. Well, I had some ideas, and here they are. One idea I had was creating a mantra. And maybe I've talked about mantras before. It's a sentence we can say over and over like a positive affirmation. And a few I came up with were, I don't have all the answers, and that is okay. So if you want, you can say it with me. I don't have all the answers, and that is okay. Another one I thought of was, I am at peace with all that I know and don't know. I am at peace with all that I know and don't know. And the last one I thought of was, I trust myself and I trust the universe. I trust myself and I trust the universe. Another idea I had was to create a special place in your home called an altar. This is a place maybe on a shelf or a dresser or table where we can put things that are special to us and bring us a feeling of peace. Maybe on your altar you have a favorite rock or shell you found, a picture of your family, a candle, a crystal, a statue, some art. You can sit by your altar and take a few breaths to bring yourself peace. Let's take a breath. Last one I have for us is to sing a song. And I have a song that I learned at the UU Church in Cambridge, and I'm hoping I can get everybody to sing it with me. It's called Where Do We Come From? Does anybody know it? Have you heard this one? Raise your hand if you know this one. It's a UU song. Some people might know it. Well, it goes like this. Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Let's try to sing those words. Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Let's do it again. Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Okay, there's one more part. It goes, mystery, mystery, life is a riddle and mystery. Let's try that. Mystery, mystery, life is a riddle and mystery. Let's do it again. Mystery, mystery, life is a riddle and mystery. Okay, we're going to have some fun. We're going to do the two parts back to back, and then I'm going to have us sing it one side and the other side, the two verses. It's going to be great. Woo! Okay, let's sing the whole thing all together. Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Mystery, mystery. Life is a riddle and mystery, mystery, mystery. Life is a riddle and mystery. Whole thing one more time. Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Mystery, mystery. Life is a riddle and mystery, mystery, mystery. Life is a riddle and mystery. Okay, you got it. So this side is going to do where do we come from? And I'll cue you in where mystery comes. Here we go. Let's see. Kids, do you want to split half and half? Half on this side or just stay where you are? Nobody wants to move. It's okay. All right. Ethan's on this side. All right. Let's sing it. Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Keep it going. Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Mystery, mystery. Life is a riddle and mystery, mystery, mystery. Life is a riddle and mystery. Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Mystery, mystery. Life is a riddle and mystery, mystery, mystery. Life is a riddle and mystery. Beautiful. Sure, life is a rhythm and mystery. Thanks, everybody. That was wonderful singing. All right. Well, we can clap. Sure, yes. All right. Well, it is time to go to religious education classes, and we're going to sing the children out, and we'll all go meet in the atrium. Thanks, everyone.
We take time during our service to light our candles of community, peace, and justice. Our red candle of community to signify our interconnection. Wherever you are in time and space, newcomer or longtime member, here in the sanctuary or joining us virtually. We light this candle, holding you in love. Today we acknowledge Transparent Day, a day to honor and celebrate transgender parents, as well as parents who are supportive of their transgender children. Also today, we remember our friend and longtime member, Dakota Rain, who died peacefully last week. Dakota was a vibrant and giving member of our church community for many years, always ready to lend a helping hand or a friendly ear. Dakota will be greatly missed. Her family will be planning a celebration of life at a future date. Now, as we light our red candle, I invite you to speak aloud the name or names of people who are on your mind and in your heart today to bring them fully into this space. Dakota, her family. Now we light our blue candle of peace for a multitude of places worldwide where people live with the threat of war and violence. We especially acknowledge those impacted by Hurricane Melissa in the Caribbean, those in Palestine who daily face the terror of starvation and relentless destruction, and the people of Sudan now living in a declared famine. And lastly, we light our yellow candle of justice. We acknowledge the citizens of our own country who have been brutalized in LA, Chicago, and Portland by the escalating authoritarian tactics of an administration bent on control through targeted political violence. May we join our courage to theirs, as we know that just as fear is contagious, equally is courage. May all people everywhere live their lives in freedom, and may we each do our part to work in justice and liberation for all at home and in the global community. As we recommit ourselves to the work of love and justice, we each voice our commitment by saying, Amen. Amen. We're now going to sing hymn number 346 in the gray hymnal. Come sing a song with me. We'll be singing all 4 verses.
Let's pray. Oh God, we come aware that community is power, strength, courage, hope, and so much more. In community, we grieve, we remember those who are grieving. Community is celebrating, and we celebrate those who live in joy in this moment. The unknown of life is a part of being human, and we honor each other on that journey. It's our prayer, O God, great divine, that whoever we are, wherever we are in this moment, that the presence and the power of this community will bring solace, joy, comfort, and strength. Amen. We enter the time in this congregation's worship practice to offer candles of silence. So we invite you at this time to come light a candle in silence as you feel urge and desire. Hymns. Readings for the sermon this morning. Ancient 1 John chapter 4, verse 1. Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God. More modern reading, written by Thomas Jefferson to his nephew Peter Carr in 1787, believed to be the occasion of his 16th birthday. Religion. Your reason is now mature enough to examine this object. In the first place, divest yourself of all bias in favor of novelty and singularity of opinion. Indulge them in any other subject rather than that of religion. It is too important, and the consequences of error may be too serious. On the other hand, shake off all the fears and servile prejudices under which weak minds are servilely crouched. Fix reason firmly in her seat, and call to her tribunal every fact, every opinion. Question with boldness even the existence of a God, because if there be one, he must more approve of the homage of reason than that of blindfolded fear. Do not be frightened from this inquiry by any fear of its consequences. If it ends in a belief that there is no God, you will find incitements to virtue in the comfort and pleasantness you feel in its exercise and the love of others which it will procure you. If you find reason to believe there is a God, and the consequences that you are acting under his eye and that he approves you will be a vast additional incitement, if that there be a future state, the hope of a happy existence in that increases the appetite to deserve it. If that Jesus was also a God, you will be comforted by a belief of his aid and love. In fine, I repeat, that you must lay aside all prejudice on both sides and neither believe nor reject anything because any other persons or descriptions of persons have rejected or believed it. Your own reason is the only oracle given you by heaven, and you are answerable not for the rightness, but the uprightness of the decision.
When the waves roll on over the waters and the ocean cries, we look to our sons and daughters to explain our lives. As if a child could tell us why, as sure as the sunrise, sure as the sea, sure as the wind in the trees, we rise again in the faces of our children. We rise again in the voices of our song. We rise again in the waves out on the ocean. And then we rise again. When the light goes dark with the forces of creation across the stormy skies, we
I am so pleased to be here, and thank you for inviting me. I particularly want to say thank you to Charles, Kim, Bonnie, the choir, ushers, greeters, Robin, Mary, everyone who contributed to creating worship with me this morning. Thank you for the teamwork, and I pray that this parish will love you all the deeper for your giving and commitment to this service. Not wanting to be a Donnie Downer, today we live in unprecedented times, seemingly more than ever. They are potentially frightening times. So many events happening all around us make it obvious we have limited control over events. The pandemic behind us, yet people still fear vaccinations. The war in Ukraine, the last election, Gaza, wildfires, fires, drought, and other natural challenges. Mass shootings seem to be unrelenting. Personal health, financial issues, family relationships, and so much more on the personal level contribute to the potentially ongoing difficulty in society. I believe that having a spiritual life that can anchor us is vital. I experience people with elevated anxieties and concern for their future on a daily basis. I would posit that a spiritual discipline can help with it all. As chaplain for Volunteers of America, I was privileged to be sent annually as I desired to Duke Divinity School and Princeton Theological Seminary for continuing education on a regular basis. While at one of my visits to Princeton, I attended a class on the value of spiritual life. I remember the lecturer sharing that empirical research indicates those who have a spiritual practice of some sort are overall happier people. So this morning, I want to speak about spiritual practice from a UU clergy person perspective. As a student at Harvard Divinity School all those years ago, I studied Rudolf Otto and his work, The Idea of the Holy. He drew on my favorite theologian, psychologist, William James, and his work, A Variety of Religious Experience. After a comprehensive study of historical and contemporary religion of his time, Otto concluded that most human beings do have a non-rational experience of the divine. He referred to it as Mysterium, Tremendum, Fascinans, a tremendous mystery filled with fascination, a sense of something mysterious, overwhelming, and daunting, which elicits from us a sense of humility, something desirable, good, caring, and comforting, which invites us into its fullness, fulfills us, and in so doing, produces a unique kind of spiritual joy he called bliss. Examples of that feeling he was trying to articulate might be found the way one feels at the birth of their child. When we view mountain vistas, when we ponder the vastness of the universe, the miraculous changing of the seasons, the peace that comes with friends at a campfire when you know there's a deep, settled bond, that inexplicable, mysterious something that brings peace and a sense of something greater than ourselves. Back then, in my Harvard days, I was kind of stuck on the God language, burned from the past experiences of life, but Otto's language seemed as a refreshing breeze to me. Today, after many years as UU minister, I observe that we UUs know far more about what we do not believe than what we do believe on a personal level. I would invite us all to intentionally discover what holds us together. Many years ago, I served a congregation in Plainfield, New Jersey. And I often remember I would be standing in the receiving line going into the parish hall, and the line would come through. And it took about 25 or 30 minutes, and I never, invariably, at least a half a dozen, maybe more people said, well, I like the sermon, but I didn't really agree with it all. So my question was, did I make you think? Oh, yes, you made me think. Mission accomplished. That's all I want to do today, is to get you thinking and see where it leads you. The words of Thomas Jefferson to his nephew, Peter Carr, ring true to me this morning. Jefferson challenged his nephew to explore the issue of spirituality for himself. It was up to Carr to discover what it was he believed about this great mystery of the divine. I would take the license to disagree with Jefferson a little bit. He seems to infer it is a once-and-done proposition. I figure he was 44 at the time. When he gets to be my age, he'll probably have grown a little bit more too. I would suggest that it is an ongoing proposition, not a once-and-done assumption. As life experience reveals more data, we are free to adjust our belief system, and sometimes we have little choice. We cannot, as one of my favorite musical artists, Iris Dement, sings, "Let the mystery be." By the way, I thought Kim did a great job this morning. I was thinking I could just stop now. The sermon's been done. She did a great job. To be effective, I believe we must explore. It's our UU way. It's a serious path. Over the years, I have come to believe that there are mystical moments or spiritual touchstones in my life that, as I look back now, I believe in all of our lives, if we're open enough to see them, that have shaped or will shape our own individual spiritual path. So I am going to share some of mine, purely taking a risk to share my personal life, which we UU ministers tend not want to do. However, in this case, I feel it's imperative that to be effective, I want to talk about how I got to my touchstones, because I wanted to get you thinking about when you, in those quiet moments of life before you go to sleep at night and you can't go to sleep and you're wide awake, or you're in the morning sitting by the wood stove and you're just thinking about things and life and family and children, maybe the idea of your spiritual life will come along and you will ponder in your own way your life, those issues and touchstones that you've experienced. The first one that came to my mind, now I grew up near a UU church, way up there in the tip of northern Maine. I really did. But I thought it was a museum. Never opened, couldn't get through the door. It was always locked, had no clue. It was right across from another museum. So I really believed it was. And it wasn't until I was invited there to guest speak as a student at Harvard that I realized that, oh my gosh, there's a church here. In 1980, while vacationing in Provincetown, Massachusetts, had not heard of UUism. Hadn't heard of it at all. And I wanted to go to church. It was a very difficult time. And I heard about a meeting house. It was a meeting house. I didn't know it was a UU meeting house. It just said meeting house. So I attended this historic church service. The Reverend Bill Gardner was speaking that day, and it was his last sermon prior to retirement. He said during his sermon, "We all have two religions, one we talk about, and one we live. Our goal as Unitarian Universalists is to make the difference between the two as small as possible." Sold. Sold. From that minute on, I need to know more about this historic, ancient, religious community that has changed and moved this nation and helped create it spiritually and ethically and morally, and onward we go. I would spend much of my career stressing the importance of an individual and authentic spiritual experience based on walking the talk. Not many years later, going through the struggle of coming out as a gay clergy person and what that was like in a very, very conservative part of the state of Maine, and family and children and all of that, I was in Boston, and I just needed something. And for me, theater was a huge release and a great spiritual expression. So I pulled what literally pennies I had left, and I went to the Wilbur Theater, and I went to see a show on Gertrude Stein, one-woman show starring Pat Carroll. I had no clue who Gertrude Stein was at all, but I needed to go to theater. So I was in the theater, up in the nosebleed seats, and there was a post right here. So I would look around there, and I would look around there. And at one point, honest to God, during her talk, she was standing in the middle of the stage, and she pointed right at me, I'm sure of it. To survive, you must be flexible. Hello. Hello, I needed that then, I need it now. It has stayed with me all these years because, Al, I have this way of doing things. I know, it's psychology. Type A personality, that's me. That is exactly me, and I know it. So I have an ongoing learning opportunity to grow. While I was at Harvard Divinity School, I was in the Andover Library studying, and I was struggling still again. So many necessary losses. And this poem was stuck in the pages of a textbook. I read it, it changed my life, it gave me strength, made a copy of it, put it back in for who may follow me down the road. I've carried it ever since. Over 130 years ago, Horace Trebell penned these words. Who are you, anyone, who can remain unmoved when the light breaks upon you? Who can say it does not concern them? Who can say it is just as well to see as not to see? Who can ever be the same child or woman or man again after the day has broken? I brushed all obstructions from my doorsill and stepped into the road. And though so many cried to me, I did not turn back. And though I was sorrowful having to leave so many friends behind, I did not turn back. And though the ground was rough and I was overtaken by fierce storms, I did not turn back. And though I was misunderstood and my old-time companions distrusted me, I did not turn back. For when the soul has started on the soul's journey, it can never turn back. I knew then that doing the right thing by living an authentic life was what sustained me spiritually and emotionally, and sometimes that can be a lonely place to be in all of our lives. June 22nd, 1992, I was outside my apartment in Boston, Massachusetts, in the South End, and I was stabbed. So there I was on this nice new sidewalk in Boston, bleeding. And I remember as I was lying there, and I was soon, of course, I'd survived. I was taken off to the Boston City Hospital, as I recall. And I'm lying there, and I'm thinking, uh-oh, I'm not born again. I've walked away from that faith. Now am I going to go to hell? Am I living the wrong way? What's going to happen to me? It was a natural thing for me. It was ingrained in me. And I'll never forget, just before I would pass out and be swept off and go into intensive care for a few days and all of that, 3 things came to my mind. 1, I have never intentionally hurt another human being. Now, because I am human, I've caused all kinds of damage, but never intentionally. Secondly, I have lived as honestly with myself as I knew how. And thirdly, I helped others the best I could. 40 years later, I cannot describe to you how it's as if time has stood still. It's just as real to me as I speak to you this morning as it was then. 2 years ago, I had to go into a very important surgery, spinal cord surgery. It was kind of life-threatening. And I remember I was lying there, before I was going to be knocked out and sent away. These three things came to my mind again. Again, that touchstone, that experience, that something that reminds me how I got through that, how I'll get through this. All of us, I believe, have these inner strengths that we are unaware of from time to time until we call it forth, and it begins to be strength for us in the moment of our lives. Now, when I finished Harvard Divinity School, I had to go before what they call their ministerial fellowship committee. And I had to know what I believed theologically. Now, I could have cared less, to be frank with you. All I wanted to do was make the world a fair and just place. It wasn't that I didn't think theology had its place. I did. But I'd been burned by it, thank you very much, and I really wanted to go with what I knew. If someone was hungry and I fed them, that I knew. If someone was hurting emotionally and I helped them, that I knew. But the concept of the divine, I don't know about that. So I had to figure out what I believed. Well, you might know that I do rather favor Thomas Jefferson, and he was a deist. Believed something up there. And Ralph Waldo Emerson was a humanist, and he believed in making the world fair for people. That's it. That's what I am, a humanist deist. Went before the committee, they gave me a warm welcome, and on we go with life. I spent much of my career seeking to make the world a fair and just place. I served on the board of the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee. I was chair of the New Jersey Religious Coalition for Reproductive Choice. I served on Congresspersons' Human Rights Commissions, created a Human Rights Association, served on congressional delegations to third world countries, founded an inner city UU church to address the needs of disenfranchised of society, and a lot more. Yet, when faced with my personal crisis of addiction, my faith, my theology, my personal approach to God did not work. I needed something more. I, Al, needed a more personal faith, one that sought to create a more unjust world, though it was as good as it was. I needed something more, something of that Mysterium, Tremendum, to help me gain strength for beyond myself. I, Al, needed to make peace with the God of my childhood, to leave the difficult, painful human side behind and embrace the tremendous mystery that made that 9-year-old feel loved and accepted when he felt it in no other place in his life. And when I had the courage to walk through that journey, everything I needed was there, divine and spiritual. Reverend Dr. Rebecca Parker, colleague, UU minister, past president of our Unitarian Universalist Divinity School, Starr King School of Theology at Berkeley, author, theologian, and I'm pleased to say friend, recently shared a thought that resonates with me immensely this morning. She shared that an example of an instance where our theological underpinnings enter into conflict with life experience. She told the story of a young woman who was a victim of spousal abuse. And this young woman had gone to her parish minister and shared that with the minister and asked for direction about what to do. And that minister told her she should stay in the relationship and accept that as a part of the divine plan. When she went to Rebecca, you might imagine Rebecca had a different approach and immediately got her in connection with services and support that she may needed. And Rebecca, reflecting on that in a meeting with us, shared one time, when our life comes into conflict with religious teachings, one of three things will typically happen. One, we acquiesce to the church's teachings, or Number 2, we walk away from the faith, my path. And third, we become theologians. I suggest that path this morning. I became a theologian. You can become a theologian. All it takes is for us to live honestly and fairly, and life experience provides us lots of opportunity to discover our spiritual beliefs, that which keeps us centered. But it does require, in my experience, deep soul searching and discovery. 38 years before the Unitarian Association was founded, Thomas Jefferson of Unitarian thought was challenging even then his nephew to begin to look at the serious topic of spirituality, of knowing what it is for ourselves. It's a part of who we are. In this long tradition, we throw them out. We do not throw things out. We just see how we fit or not and find the spot where we do. But it requires that soul searching. And I believe that if we do that, we will remain centered spiritually, come what may, in these challenging times. So, my friends, what touchstones, mystical moments, experiences do you draw upon to give yourself and provide strength and balance today? I believe you have what you need, and you can do it. And I close with the words of longtime UU minister Harold Robbins, who in many ways challenges us in our contemporary society the way Jefferson did all those centuries ago. Down in the darkened mansions of the self, there are many wonders far greater than heraldic beasts, work dolls, symbolic pictures, and hieroglyphics of an Egyptian tomb. Do you ever walk there, with torch of memory glistening on the walls in some places, while other places were still in ominous shadows? Or do you keep all above ground where it's safe? If you never get down into your own wonders and fears, religion will not exist for you, because religion is not a superficial matter. True religion does not ask how you are dressed or demand that you act in a prescribed manner. True religion does not question your sincerity or respect your candor. True religion cares for you in your depth, demands that you live in that depth, and that you respect all others in theirs. Amen. Thank you for listening to me this morning.
Thank you. Each Sunday, UUCR gives away half of the money received in the collection plate to a nonprofit organization that shares our UU values. This is a simple yet powerful way for each of us to help heal the world by learning and supporting the good works of charitable organizations and becoming more involved in our community. Our Share the Plate recipient for the month of November is UUSC Guest at Our Table. Guest at Our Table is an annual fundraising initiative of the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee, who works together with international community of over 50 grassroots partners to advance human rights and social justice in more than 20 countries. Countless individuals around the world benefit from the work that the member congregations make possible. This year's Guest at Our Table theme is planting seeds of a more just future. Here are some people and projects that your donations will be supporting. LGBTQIA+ asylum seekers in Philadelphia, a Honduran river community working to protect its water from illegal mining activities of a large corporation. The Anti-Corporation and Justice Unit of Cristasol fighting for government accountability and human rights in El Salvador. Recognizing our debt to Indigenous people by acknowledging that we live on traditional and unceded lands of the Massachusetts, Mohican, Pawtucket, and Wampanoag peoples. Please give as generously to our Share the Plate recipient, Share the Plate offering for the support of Guests at Our Table and the mission of UUCR. Now, if this is your first time with us, just let the plate pass you by. Your presence is gift enough. It's not a mystery to me how much the music really helped me today. Thank you. In our congregational life this week, I'd like to thank all of those who helped Martha Moore yesterday with the fall cleanup, because it was kind of windy, but it was nice to get things cleaned up. Thank you, Martha. I would like to thank Charlotte and Puffy Bear for the beautiful chancel flowers this morning. I would also like to remind people that Monday night's Buddhist meditation will be Zoom only this week because of fair preparations. Speaking of the fair, that's next Saturday. From 10 to 2. So, and today, if you could stay after the service to help us transform the church campus into a winter wonderland. Many hands make light work, and there will be pizza available at the end for your efforts. Please check out the donation schedule this week before coming down with your donations. You may start bringing donations this afternoon between 2 and 5. Now, I'm going to be in Toys on Saturday morning. I hope that I see the rest of you there volunteering or shopping, whatever. Thank you, each of you, for bringing our congregation to life. Now, please rise in body or spirit and join us in singing the closing hymn, 110. I've got peace like a river. We're going to sing verses 1 to 4. Martha corrected me. The fair on Saturday is at 9 a.m. and it goes until 2, 9 to 2. Thank you, Martha.
The sixth verse of the hymn that we were singing says, I've got strength like a mountain. As you leave this morning, that's my prayer, that you will feel and find that strength. Let's pray. If here you have found wisdom, take it with you into the world. If you have found comfort, go and share with others. If you have dreamed dreams, help one another that they may come true. If you have known love, give some back to a bruised and hurting world. Go in peace. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.